totally natural.
Oh,
Okay, so what is up
my guys,
with
my Bobby Joe Bobbers.
like there's okay, so the biggest issue I'm ever gonna have with the anime meta in the world today is
it's like
no, it still kind of is.
Still is.
It still is like not gonna lie.
it's not like a new thing.
It's not new and it's probably not gonna go away anytime soon. And I don't like it's just so annoying because like it doesn't make sense to me personally.
Honestly, I don't really make sense to me.
And yeah, like how did you not? Wow, I'm actually impressed. No, but like characters, they don't have to be relatable. Like serious. Like
the lesser relatable they are.
yeah, like I don't like me my like I'd make a terrible protagonist. That's what I'm trying to say. That's basically what it boils down to, is that I'd probably be like the worst protagonist of anything ever.
The creepy weird guy who lives in the basement.
Yeah, like if like my dream as an anime character is literally to be a random ass side character who like wears a huge coat and randomly produces snacks and like gives them to the main characters from the coat, and it's just always eating something. Like that's literally my dream character to be in like almost in basically anything ever.
My dream character would be to be the person who's watching a different character. Not living. I don't know.
Exactly. Like I'd
I would
never
just
want to
rather
be
it
the
be
like.
about someone else.
See,
I'm not.
because all the animes they go on about like these characters that are super bland and super like have zero design. Like you could literally take any 12 of them and they look exactly the same, and they're all in the name of relatability. And I
But
think,
then all the girls are like.
and then all the girls are super unique and like totally whatever. And I get what their like the market is. Like I get kind of where it's coming from. Is just like it's
The thing is, nobody's like, my favorite anime character was this one guy who's super generic.
yeah. It's not.
It's
Always gonna be like the Yu-Gi-Ohs and the Gokus and all the interesting
And the
people.
Saitama.
And yeah, exactly.
He's
Saitama's a
nothing
great
like-
example of that because
he's nothing like-
he's intentionally built as an anti-stigmatism of the protagonist character because he's like really lame, kind of
Same
lame.
with Kazuma.
aesthetic.
Kazuma's like, doesn't.
Kazuma Sato, he's a good idea.
He doesn't actually act like every other stupid character.
He acts more like a human being than
Yeah,
most
he's
people
more
who are
like
supposed to
people
be human
actually
beings.
It's pretty great.
And that makes him like a much stronger character, whereas like you have what's his Asterisk War, like one of the worst things ever created, where the dude is intentionally the most lame potato
How isn't
ever.
that bad?
Compared to basically the same show, aka
Alias,
uh,
which was even worse.
Infinite Stratos is actually Infinite Stratos has something that's it plays its one card so hard that it gets old, but at the same time it's its one card, so it's kind of like I guess
He's
it's
completely retarded.
because he's literally just the definition of autism. Like the number of times freaking I don't even remember his name. He's such a Ichigo. Ichika. That's
Ichika.
Ichika, freaking strawberry looking. Like the number of times he's cockblocked himself in the 1-2 seasons exceeds that of like any of 20 other shows from outside influence.
Oh, he could be straight up on the periodic table.
Yeah, he's literally at the bottom of the periodic table intensity. It's like it's part of like it's so bad. But otherwise, like I get the general sense of like the whole relatable characters because it's fantasy football. It's like why people play games like this, Borderlands 2, is because you can put yourself in the shoes.
I would way rather
Of-
play.
Yeah, it's you put yourself in the shoes of like of somebody, and you be them basically. It's fantasy football. You can imagine yourself in their shoes and like put your experience in their experience.
You know, stuff like that.
And then there's what I much prefer.
But he was already a fan.
Yeah.
He still was a fan.
I'm convinced he didn't die on Reach, but that's another thing.
I don't believe it.
Because I prefer characters that I can, Well, it's once they have a face, it's kind of like I feel like, especially in games specifically, I never actually feel like unless it's like a die-hard RPG like Fallout or Skyrim specifically, like a lot of Skyrim, and a little bit in Fallout. Like even then, it doesn't. It's not like super die-hard. It's just I never feel like I'm actually the character. I don't relate to them in that way. I feel like I'm their guide or their guardian or like their whatever. I'm just like I'm with them in the story, and I'm just
Dragonborn.
I just have power over them in some way. That's weird. I don't actually feel like I'm the character. I don't feel like I have them do
Skyrim,
things
I
I'd
do.
never do. I have them do things.
Skyrim, if you build them exactly how you want them to be with like all the coolest stuff,
Yeah,
I definitely feel like I'm that guy.
I don't. I never do. Because
I don't feel like Dragonborn.
Because
but I feel like a Breton mage.
there are things I'd have I do with my characters that I'd never do as me and as a
Well,
real
yeah,
person.
because you can't get away with
Well,
it.
yeah, but no, but like in real life, like especially particularly in Fallout 4, like I'd probably be a lot more ruthless with people and stuff, and I just be probably a douchebag. But then like I build this character of my Fallout 4 character, and he's his own person, and he has his own things, and I build a character around him, and then he stays in his as his character, and I don't relate to him. I just play as him.
It's story driven. That's kind of
But with story-driven games, I like I don't know. Like okay, so example, Destiny 2. I just started playing it like last week. It just came out like last week. I started playing it, and I don't feel like I'm my guardian. I'm not. He's his own thing, and I'm my own thing. We're two separate entities. I don't relate to him in like any meaningful, specific way. Like I even gave him a name. Like you can't actually name characters in Destiny 2, which is weird. They just have their label, like Titan, Human, Male, whatever. Specifically, it's mine.
that's retarded.
Yeah, I know it's annoying. I was kind of just like I was a little bit butthurt. But I literally like in my head, like as during the opening cutscene of the game and all throughout the tutorial, I was coming up with a name for him because he was going to be his own thing and his own character, and there's not a lot of choices to make in Destiny 2 at the moment, so it wasn't like the biggest deal. But I just felt like he's not me, and I'm me, and he's him. And so I named him like Ven, and I haven't like that's his name. He's his own person. And I feel the same way with like anime characters. Like I never have once ever wished I was the character. I was the main character or the protag or the whoever or MC or whoever you want to call him. I've never wanted to be him.
You never wanted to be the person.
I've never wanted to be the
Not even.
I'd never want to be another like. No, they're serious. I've never felt the urge to just be that like just take his place completely and utterly and be that character. I've just never felt that way. And so when people like, oh, it's the reason he's so generic is so you can relate to him. Like I'm just like
Maybe
that's
not
no.
be the character, but if you be in their situation. Heck yeah, you wanted that before.
Well, even then, cause I'm a huge sucker for like relationship and shipping and the ship and just OTPs. It's kind of cringy, I know, but I don't care because that's my aesthetic thing. So, like, if I've decided on the main ship, which is usually the show ships, most of the time, there's are few exceptions. Like, I feel like that's their thing, and I don't want to be in the way of that, and so I would never even imagine myself in these shoes with her, because I'm not that kind of person. I imagine them as, like, I never imagine myself in their position, because I always imagine them in their own positions, completely unrelated from me and from anything else. And I don't know if that's just from, like, a long experience with media. I don't know, it's just me. It might just be me, it might be more people.
Keep repeating yourself.
I know, but because I can't think of anything else to say, I'm sorry.
Let me
Say something.
Alright,
Say
well,
another.
the big opposite of them. The best example. Probably Warframe. I play
That
as
was the other
Frost,
thing.
but Frost is definitely his own character. There's no way that I actually feel like I'm Frost. Even though canonically he's just like a made character that everyone has, like, everyone makes their own
You-
Frost.
Yeah,
But
that's the
he still has a personality.
that's one thing I adore about Warframe is that you never feel like, oh, I'm just this class of character. I'm like, oh, I'm just an Axton. Oh, I'm just a Titan. Oh, I'm just a whoever. In Warframe, you always feel like this is my Frost. This is my Rhino. This is my Excalibur, because the level of customization and everything just
But
flows perfectly.
even then, people like ship Warframes, even though canonically everyone has the same Warframe. And it's
They're all they're
they
technically
don't have
pieces
their
of
own personality.
they're technically pieces of equipment that you can mod and customize and do whatever with it.
But they
Which is why
feel
you get so attached to them as like your own possession. But then at the same time, like outside of that,
Glass frames tank. By
they
the way.
do have their own glass frame for the win. They all have their own certain quirks and aesthetics and animation sets that all make them different.
Not even that, just their look.
Just
Right,
aesthetically, even especially the animation sets.
Frost is
that
like his
always
own
gets me.
character within like the fan world,
Mhm.
but Frost is also just like a favorite.
Is-
Like, for me.
Because Warframe manages to pull off a weird hybrid of relatability and distancing. That's just awesome
The
to me.
thing is, it's supposed to put the operator in your shoes, but then the Warframes.
That's the other thing.
your
Even with the
character.
operator, I don't feel like the operator is me. I feel like the operator is
I
just
feel like the operator is
is
like
my
my
minion.
child.
yeah. Because
Mostly because she's a girl, but
I seriously can't
I
think
want
of
to
a time.
customize her to be like as like great. I just want her to be like this awesome little girl that
Yeah.
controls Warframes and stuff. But then it's like,
Hmm.
that's not supposed to be me.
Yeah,
I mean, it's supposed to be,
because
but
like there are
If I
plenty of
cust-
times where I'll want to be in an anime, like not like low key, like page walking. My concept of it is what I call it. Is
No, like,
traveling
you know-
between medium.
right in
What?
Skyrim,
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm the Dragonborn chosen one. When an NPC speaks to me, they're like, "You're Dragonborn." I don't think that's me, but I do think it's me when someone says, or if I'm a Breton mage and I'm going around shooting people with like mage lasers, and I customize myself to look and have all the same stuff that I want to be able to have, then that's supposed to feel like me. I mean, if it doesn't look exactly like me, the Breton mage.
The British. See, I never feel that way. I always feel like I'm projecting and maybe the
You
closest
gotta
thing.
customize everything.
The closest
And if
thing.
you've played the game long enough as that character, then it's you in the game.
The closest I can
It's
think
Warframe,
of
but
it to
it's
be
just tough.
maybe. Sorry about that. Mike just disconnected itself. Yeah. Should be good.
It's just really fun.
Not that I need to. I've heard I don't know. I don't feel like it. I'll get a legendary. Like a flacker. The closest I can think of to the relatability is like I project an aspect of my personality. Oh, we got a legendary. I know this is funny. Is I can project. Oh, we did get a legendary. Right. Oh, you're a volcano. I've had like 12 of you. Is like I project a certain aspect of my personality, maybe, because in
That's
RPGs, well, no, not all of me though.
Well,
'Cause-
yeah, obviously, you can't just have it exactly you.
Because like when I create a character, like I usually have one set like character arc design and like background and whatever, what have you, built around them like from the get go, and it's usually some like ideology, like even like okay, like my current like level 130 Fallout 4 character is this like super righteous, super nice, super friendly white knight god warrior who defends the innocent and fights the monsters for the people, because I feel like that's what I feel like that's what people. Hey, hey, shut up. I feel like that's just the kind of person I would want to be in that world. But it's not me. It's not even close to who I am as an actual person.
Well, duh. The only way you're doing that is if you get legit VR. And even then, if your character's any different than you.
I don't know. Because there have been times I wanted to be in an anime, yes, but never as the main character. And even if I did want to be a main character, be of my own anime that I built from the ground up for me specifically.
In a show, it's way worse. Like, in a game, you're trying to project it on you. That's fine enough. But in an anime that you're not even playing, it's like, alright.
Yeah, but even in a game, I still don't feel it. Like, because right now, even like,
You're not supposed to feel it all the freaking way, Greg.
no, but I don't feel it at all. Most for basically everything. Like it's
You feeling that you're playing as them is already some aspect of you feeling them. It doesn't need to have your personality or your aesthetic or anything. Just the fact that you're actually playing as them and doing things that you do because you're the one physically doing it. I mean, it has to have some aspect of you.
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, Frost has a pretty much no aspect of me, except for the fact that I like his fights. So that's just what I want to do most of the time.
But it's back to the matter we started with.
If you refer to yourself as me in the game,
I
then
don't.
That means,
I don't.
yeah, you do. If you say, I was playing Warframe earlier and I did this thing in the game, that means you did it in the game.
But that's the game.
You don't
but
say,
no, but
my Excalibur.
but sometimes I
if
do.
it's something super specific to your Excalibur, then yeah.
No, but for anime, like I just feel like it needs to stop, because I mean, I guess
shows seem to be a lot worse. The main character's like literally the least important character.
yeah, like there's literally nothing about the character that's unique to the character, then I have issues. That's where things.
It's the character has to be like, the most important. Okay, if you take a show, take the most important character in the show, make that the main character.
Yeah. Don't make it the main girl.
Think
Don't
of
make
it like Magi.
Magi?
Magi, whatever.
Magi.
Aladdin. He's a
Magi.
He's the like rare dude or whatever.
He's the reincarnation of Solomon.
Which means he's important.
Which means he's the most.
Which means he's the main character.
Well,
most.
Well, the problem with Magi though is that it's a good example of how to like. It literally doesn't have.
But then people complain that they have plot armor.
Oh no! Don't even get me. If you wanted the conversation to go somewhere, let's go into plot armor.
Oh boy.
'Cause we got. I don't even know how much time to fill out because it's set to 30 minutes of recording.
Oh boy.
But the plot armor argument is literally the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's not even. Yeah, it shouldn't even be an argument. People are like, I don't like that character because he has too much plot armor. It's just
It's
stop.
like there's no way he would have survived all of that.
Stop.
Yeah, because he did. So that's the whole point.
The reason the story was made is because
I didn't understand that a while ago. Before I even had Warframe, I was watching Greg play it. I'm like, how come this one character you're playing as is always way better than the rest of them, even when they're evenly matched? Like in COD, you're playing as one soldier with one gun, and you kill 30,000 other soldiers with their guns, with no special suit or anything, but you're still way better than them. Why? It's like, well, the story wouldn't be about you. You would die.
Yeah, nobody cares about the
You're a
dead guys.
legend. The main character isn't the guy who died 3 seconds ago. It's not. You're the main character.
History is written by the victors, and so
Yeah.
the only stories you ever hear are from the guys who survived. That's why they're the things. And
It seems like the victor's always the good guy, even if they weren't.
Well, yeah, that's
Like, if the
that's
South
part
had won the Civil War,
yeah, then things
then,
would be very different.
we would
We
just
wouldn't
think
be
that
having a
we're
huge
good.
internet war over PewDiePie right now. Lol.
Lol XDXD. Should see Leaky's video on.
We feel it already made a video.
Oh yeah, he needs me. He was trying to make a video 30 minutes later. So,
Bioengineered to do that.
by
Yeah,
some
but
gnome
yeah, so
machines.
like plot armor is the art. Like stop. It's not plot armor. It's just the plot.
The story
That's
doesn't
literally how it
change
goes.
for the guy. The guy.
It changes the story. That's why he's in this. That's why the story is about him and he's
Okay.
in the story.
Let me think about the wording. This, the story. Yeah, the story isn't shaped because they want him to live. He only lived. I don't know. Wait.
No. Okay, he does. The story isn't shaped. No. No.
Trying to figure out the wording.
His story doesn't shape him. He shapes the story. I think. Yes, he does. 'Cause he survived, and so the story is his story. If the story shaped him, then it would be like the
Like
legend.
in COD, one of the random bad guys you shoot, the story's not going to be about him because
Yeah.
he wasn't good.
Nobody cares about the random Arabian scrub who got headshotted by an M16.
If he had been the one that had destroyed you and destroyed everything, the game would have played as him. Okay. Here's the word. I'm trying to think. Can't remember the wording.
You're a failure as a human being. Where am I even going? Just running around the Arabian blade. Oh, I know where I can go. I can go to the Circle of Slaughter. On the other end of the map that I was just at. Oh, boy. I can find it again. I only found it like once. Yeah, but plot armor is like just not. It's not plot armor. It's just literally the plot. Excuse me. How dare you?
Okay, it doesn't give them armor because of the plot. The plot only happened because they had armor in the first place.
Yeah. The plot's not protecting them. They're protecting the plot.
Another turret kill!
Well, not really. It's like the plot was a thing because they were protected. The thing is it's more like a plot sword. Like they used the plot. Okay, whatever. They progressed the plot on their own,
Yeah.
and they
But
whatever.
relatable characters aren't ever actually relatable to me, so I don't.
At least the super generic crappy ones.
Yeah, but even like, because I'd much rather have a well-rounded, well-defined, like, human being that you can actually relate to.
I like it way better when they're OP. Like it's so much cooler.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's aspects, I guess you can be like, oh yeah, that makes sense for you in person. But like,
The thing is they never even
I'm thinking
have.
I'm thinking of Mob from Mob Psycho 100 at the moment, because I do not relate to Mob at all.
You're not supposed to.
Well, kind of. You're kind of supposed to. You're supposed to relate
He's
to.
not. He's his own character. He's got a whole different look than most characters and his own personality. You're thinking of the crappy characters. You're thinking of Yukirito from To Love Ru. Or you're thinking of Kirito.
Well, here's the other thing. I don't.
Even actually,
I don't.
he's a cool character as well.
Kirito is actually.
He's got a really basic look. Like,
Yeah,
he's like,
aesthetically, he's pretty boring. But at the
he's like
same.
a cool black sword.
Yeah, at the same time, I do believe he's his own character.
Okay, no,
He
it's like the
has-
harem,
The harem
Protagonist.
king. The harem king.
the
You
harem
say.
protagonist that all have the same personality. Oh, like different bears in that one moment, and all that crap. And you
We're looking at you,
for the
to love
girls.
Ru. And
Like Mob Psycho.
Actually, not.
Mob is like has his own weird.
Mob
issues.
feels a million times more human than any
harem protagonists are all the same.
I mean, I guess there
Might
are a
look all
few
over.
exceptions, I suppose.
And then it's not a harem. A harem can't happen unless they're the same perfect character.
The harem
Like,
king.
think about it. Is Saitama ever gonna get a harem? Maybe. But, I mean, not
I'm pretty sure
logistically.
there's probably some dojins that wish he would.
Not the one does. Alright. Shh, shh. Okay, I'll tell you the plot of that later. Go look some stuff. Alright. But, the thing is, he's got his own, like, personality. Like, if a girl shows up at his house, he's gonna be like, go away, what the freak.
Why are you at
But
my
then a harem
house?
king dude will be like, why is she in my house?
Yeah.
And then they're gonna fall on top of each other in the bathroom, and it's gonna be, oh my gosh. And she won't call the police for some reason. A real girl would. And he'll just get out of it with a slap, and then they'll make up instantly. Happens with every single girl. But all the girls are unique.
Over and over and over again. All the girls are unique and interesting characters. Well, even then, sometimes they aren't.
Not compared to other shows, but like,
Because, like,
compared to each other.
looking specifically at IS again, despite Ichika having his own retarded quirk. That's one thing I love about
Even then,
characters in
all
general.
of them have that, just not as bad.
The more quirks a character, like, to a point, I guess, like, extreme amount of ridiculous.
I really like it when the main
It's a bit
character
much.
is like super smart,
But, like,
or like Sora and stuff.
yeah, but, like,
No Game No Life.
yeah, like, 3 or 4 quirks that, like, define them as a character, like, is always appreciated. If you show me,
Kazuma, what?
if you could, like, a character with, like, 1 quirk, or, like, or even no quirks is more often the case, he's just not
I
an
can be a
interesting
hero
character.
without a quirk.
And then there's
Generic character.
generic anime dating sim
Main
protag.
character has no
And
quirk.
there's one show I can think of right off the top of my head that somehow managed to have like 400 characters with all their own different things. And
Is that a? Oh yeah, it is.
Assassination Classroom.
Oh, screw you.
Because
Sorry, children.
and Sorry Children does the same thing.
Okay, Assassination Classroom.
Assassination Classroom is
I've noticed they've been doing really similar stuff with I almost accidentally said that's something good.
that's
No,
ancient history, fam.
hello. How are you? I'm good, thank you.
I just walked off. Oh no, we didn't. Okay, let's see if we can get out of this.
I'm good, thank you.
I don't think I
how
can get
are
out of
you?
this. Oh dear. I've made
Oh,
a
my
terrible
God.
mistake. Goodbye, a good chunk of my $2 million. Fare thee well.
No one's gonna listen to this podcast.
I don't care. We're gonna make it anyway. We're gonna make it till I run out of recording time, which is half an hour. So.
Gonna make it till I get demonetized.
Hyperion suggests that you
Let's
rejoin
talk about
every
PewDiePie now.
Want to talk about
A
foods?
victory achieved without
The
suffering is no victory.
Fascism in you.
Oh, yeah, I
starring
gotta talk
Nicki.
about Leafy first. Okay. Like, what Leafy said was, it was pretty freaking great, because
There's a Yoda Pez under my desk. Why? How long have you been down here, my friend? Long time it has been. It's
long time.
Oh hey, it's the robot covered in human body parts.
That's great.
Delicious.
Okay, so Leafy, he was like, alright, not everyone needs to flip their crap. And it's like, people who were diehard supporting him during the Nazi escapade are now completely turned on after this. It's like, are you kidding me, people? It's like, it was different. It had, like, history. And we're like,
History?
oh. That word was actually used to be mean to people. It's like,
Okay.
death to all Jews was not a concept ever.
Oh my god.
And he was, and at the very end of the video, he's like, well, to be fair, that guy in the game was being a freaking dick. And then it cuts out the script.
N-I double gut
And
snap.
I don't go.
That's my new family-friendly way of saying
Honestly, I feel like that word is
Not-
not as bad as most words.
it. Because in
It's like saying you're a